Good afternoon, vinyl community. This is DJ Reed. We're going to be looking at more Beatle records, and this is a progression from last video. It's a continuation of the 1963 into 1964. The Beatles, of course, were becoming very famous. Beatlemania had arrived. And in December 1963, just on the brink of 64, they did this special live broadcast with the BBC and Jukebox Jury. They became Jukebox Jury. They judged songs of the 60s, the early 60s, Hippie Hippie Shake, Do You Really Love Me Too by Billy Fury, Bobby Vinton, There I Said It Again, Elvis Presley, Kiss Me Quick. They had to judge them, and it was just a riot. They were just having fun. It was no serious Jukebox Jury. It was just to have them on TV through the BBC, and then radio broadcast too. And then they just had a great time. Then they did a show. For Me to You, I saw her standing there, all my loving, roll over Beethoven, boys, till there was you, she loves you, this boy, I want to hold your hand, money, and twist and shout, all the great ones. And then I got this nice sleeve for the album. Kind of explains what they did in the TV, kind of a show, fun show. And they were the judge and jury of the songs. And look at this beautiful colored vinyl. Blue vinyl. So that's a live broadcast through the BBC. And finally it made an album after all these years, and I picked one up through Amazon, and I'm glad I got it. They only did 2,000 copies of it, and I got number 161, so I got a very early, I don't know if you can see the, yeah, there it is, 161 out of 2,000, so this album, I'm going to show some Canadian records today, some Canadian pressings that you would have seen in the store back then, or if you go to an antique store or a record store, you may see these records, because these are Canadian pressings. This is Long Tall Sally. I don't know, it's kind of rare, but if you go to an antique store, you may see this. If you ask for that record, you can find it. But it is rare. Of course, it's got their big hits. I Want to Hold Your Hand, I Saw Her Standing There, and This Boy. And then the B-side. And you see Beatlemania and Twist and Shout were previously released. This is the third album of the Beatles released in Canada. That's a pure Canadian pressing. And I got a later pressing, a 1970s pressing of Long Tall Sally. They did very reissues. This is a reissue of the mid-70s on Capitol. And you see the Long Tall Sally, the Beatles, and the songs. And it's in mint condition again. It's very, very beautiful record. The next one is a wonderful Canadian pressing, Twist and Shout. And of course it features She Loves You. She Loves You was not yet on an album. And so Canada decided, we're going to put it on an album. It's a #1 single. We are going to make sure She Loves You is on an album. and they did it. This is a great tribute to the Beatles with "She Loves You" on the record, and then it lists the Beatles by name and their height, weight, what they like to do, and what they different things about them. Kind of a little resume of the Beatles. More of a personal, says personally speaking. There's a write-up here too on the events of the Beatles during that time. And see that picture at the top left-hand corner? That is very famous. That's a very famous photo of the Beatles with Paul, then Ringo, then George is kind of on top there, and below is John Lennon. That's a very, very famous photo of the Beatles. This one is too, but that back one is great. And Twist and Shout, again, I got a 1970s pressing on the burgundy label. Again, it's just a clean, to me there's not a scratch on this. It's just clean as a whistle. And I got that one from this record dealer, Sharon, downtown Hamilton on Main Street. She has a nice, cute little record store, and I bought the Twist and Shout one from her. So that's the Canadian pressings I wanted to show you today. This is a single of the Beatles. I want This Boy, and I Want to Hold Your Hand. With This Boy as the B-side, so it's hard to read because it's in Spanish. This is from the country of Chile, South America. Look at the fancy lettering. And the Odeon label is very famous around the world on Odeon. Usually if it's Odeon, it's like Parlophone in England. It's very famous for good records, making good records. So the Beatles were signed up with Odeon. Parlophone and Odeon kind of worked hand in hand. Back then, the companies worked hand in hand. Here's the photo. Lost Beatles. And again, that's looks like the With the Beatles album, but this is a single, and they used the half-lit face. Once again, it just was so famous. Here's the Beatles' #1 single, one of their biggest selling around the world. She Loves You was the biggest seller in England. This is one of the biggest selling singles worldwide, and that was I Want to Hold Your Hand. And This Boy. That's a picture disc. It'll actually play I Want to Hold Your Hand on that side, and This Boy on this side. So it's a picture disc. I got that at a record show one time, and I'm glad I got it. This is my original Canadian pressing I bought in Paris back in 1964 when I was just a wee lad. And I bought that down at Malloy's, downtown Paris. They had a beautiful little record store downtown Paris, and there you go. And I was so excited as a young teen to get these records. I liked the Beatles pretty well right from the beginning days. Here's the Twist and Shout EP. This is 4 songs. Again, that's got the Twist and Shout picture again, but this is a British pressing. And again, it's in the same format as the Please Please Me album. Very similar, isn't it? With those 4 songs contained Twist and Shout EP was on, I think it was on the number one for around 6 months, 4 to 6 months, something like that. I can't, I'm not 100% sure on that, but it was a long time. For months, it was number one. So yeah, so I think I'll stop there for today. I just wanted to show you some of the records that was on the beginning of 1964. The Ed Sullivan Show was broadcast February 9th, 1964, and during the month of February we see the onslaught of these singles and records that were done at that time. So we'll continue 1964 in the next show, and until then, DJ Reed signing off, and I hope you enjoyed the show today. Peace and love, God bless, and we'll talk to you very soon with a continuation of the Beatles 1964. Bye for now.